What is going on, everybody? Welcome to a Before the Battle episode for the Michigan State Spartans. As always, I am Jeremy the Couch Potato. Opposite side of the screen, we got Coach Slate. What is going on, sir?
Not much, man. Just gearing up for Thomas Worthington tomorrow. Hopefully the weather holds off, so I don't have to go buy some rain gear because all my stuff says Finley or Harding. so so hopefully it holds off, so I don't have to go do that. But should be a fun one. Excited. The kids had a good week of practice, so we're ready to go.
Awesome. Just get some blue duct tape, go over the Finley logo. You should be all
Yeah.
right.
Yep.
So weather could be interesting. Not so much on Saturday night up north, it doesn't look like, though.
Yeah.
Buckeyes take on Michigan State. Now a 7:30 kickoff, not at 7 as originally scheduled. They thought we needed to stay up a little bit later. On Peacock, Michigan State is 3-1,
Yep.
and only one of the 3 road games the Buckeyes play this year.
That's crazy.
It's funny how that fell, and obviously the big one coming up in a few weeks. But yeah. So far it's not like they've had a murderer's row of a schedule. FAU, Maryland, which Maryland's not a bad ball club. Prairie View, and then Boston College, which BC was the loss. 23-19 to the Fighting Bill O'Briens. Obviously FAU, okay, I guess you would say. Nothing great. They are, I believe that's where old Texas Tom's at, isn't it?
I think you are correct. And that was a low scoring game.
Yes, 16-10. So looking through the numbers for Sparty, 25.5 points a game scored, 14.25 allowed. So obviously looks like it should be a decent day for the Buckeye defense to wreak some havoc. Through the 4 games, 702 yards on the ground, 988 in the air. 4 touchdown passes in 4 games, though. So I thought we would see a little more pizzazz out of this team, with the coaching change and some of the guys they brought in, with the Oregon State guys. But what do you see? What are your first impressions of them from what you've seen?
Yeah, I mean, I think they're going to be ready for this game. Obviously, it's a night game in East Lansing. Anytime the Buckeyes come up there, it's going to be a big deal. I feel like every game we have up there has been always a pretty good game. And so, Coach Smith, Jonathan Smith, he's going to have them ready to go. I know their defensive line is going to be very aggressive. They're going to try to put a lot of pressure on our offensive line and really see if they are, battle tested, because we haven't played such a strong schedule. But one thing I wanted to point out, because, Jonathan Smith, the head coach of Michigan State, is somebody that I have a ton of respect for. I said in the last episode, before the battle, with Coach Huff, I just have a lot of respect for the coaches who I feel, go about it and rise the ranks, the right way. And so this guy was at Oregon State previously. And talk about a great decision for him to leave Oregon State, by the way.
Yeah.
Who's, going to end up in the Mountain West or whatever it is, or the new Pac-12, sorry. And he moves on to a Big Ten school. So, shout out to him for making a good decision. But he got the head coaching job at Oregon State in 2018. And his first year was not good. He went 2-10 and was 1-8 in conference play. So that's a tough way to start. But when you take a new job at a Power 5 school, your goal is to build. And so Oregon State's not an easy place to go win games. You just hope that you can get the bowl eligible. In 2019, he improved to 5-7, and he actually tied for second place in their division of the Pac-12. COVID year, things were a little down. After COVID in 2021, though, they bounce back and they finish 7-6 and make it to a bowl game. And then 2022 was his best year. Actually, they won the Las Vegas Bowl, and he got there, or that season they won 10 games. And so at a place like Oregon State, if you're able to win 10 games, like that is a huge, huge, huge accomplishment. And then last year in 2023 with DJ, Uwe Ungalale. Gosh, I feel bad for that guy for
Yeah.
all this, just not panning out wherever he's been. But they had a decent year. They went 8-4. They finished in the top 25 in the AP poll. The year before, they finished in the top 20. And so he moves on to Michigan State. So you're getting a coach who knows what he's doing, and he knows how to build a respectable program. And when you get to Michigan State, if you can win 8, 9, 10 games a season, you're going to stay there for a while. And so
Oh yeah.
this is a guy that I have a lot of respect for. He knows what he's doing. He's going to have a lot of guys ready to go. He's got an athletic quarterback in Aiden Childs. After watching the Marshall film, which we'll probably get into a little bit on here, they're going to think like, hey, Aiden is twice the athlete as Stone Earl. So we're going to be able to, utilize him in the run game. So I think they're going to come ready to go. But I really think they're going to really try to attack our offensive line and then let Aiden Childs run around and see if our defense can stop him.
Yeah, absolutely. Aiden Childs is good.
He's good.
There's really no other way to put that one. You hit on the defense, wanting to, come out as well. So we'll get on that in a minute. But offensively, rushing wise, they are led by Ron Lynch Adams, 287 yards. So he's averaging just south of 70 a game. But Aiden Childs, 27 attempts for 135. Now he's only got a net of 95 because we got losses and sack yardage in there, but he's got 3 rushing touchdowns.
Yeah.
That right there is one to look out for. So we'll, I'm with you. I think we're going to see some interesting looks from them. Childs throwing the ball 63 of 116, but he's got 7 picks already.
Yeah.
To 4 touchdowns. So this could be a DBU game. If they have to throw the ball, which I think obviously they will get into a spot where they have to throw the ball.
Yeah, for sure.
I don't feel like they are going to be able to keep up. So along those lines, real quick, just defensively, they do have some dudes with some serious sack numbers 4 games into the year. Jordan Turner and Chris Bogle both have 3 already. Then you've got a plethora of guys, 2, 1.5, 1, 1, 1, 1. I mean, so that's decent sack numbers against. Now, granted, they haven't played great teams either. They've got 4 picks on the year. Charles Brantley is their leader with 2. But same thing there. You're not seeing a ton of tackles out of their secondary. So it makes me wonder, what are we getting? So
yeah,
that'll be interesting to see for sure. I think the Buckeyes do come out and try to establish themselves as the better team early. Stop the Michigan State run, try to score points, force them to throw, put Childs in some hairy spots.
Yeah, if I was calling the defense for this game, that would definitely be, my game plan. I'm going to do whatever it takes to really sell out and stop the run and force Aiden to beat us with his arm. If he's able to do that, we can adjust. And I think, if we got into a situation where he is hurting us with his arm, we can adjust and do some different things, go back to the bend, but don't break defense, things like that. And so, it will be interesting to see. And that's one of the things, I was going to ask you about. It'll be interesting to see how we attack this game from a defensive perspective. After watching the film of last week, I spent the last 2 days, really breaking that down. The defense played better than what you watched in live action would suggest. The defensive line was not as bad as we thought it was. The linebacker play was okay at times. All of those things really just came down to, being technique and fundamentally sound. You could see that JTT was trying to make some plays, and those things, when you have an athletic quarterback and you don't maintain your rush lanes and you don't maintain gap integrity, a running quarterback can really hurt you. And so it'll be interesting to see what Jim Knowles has really done this week to really shore that up. And it will also be interesting for me to see what the linebacker rotation looks like as well. If you're asking me right now, I think Arvell is the best linebacker, the
Yeah.
way that he's playing. And so it'll just be interesting to see how we handle that. Hopefully we get Tyleek back. That will obviously be a big help. But if not, I think the other Ty Malone played the best out of the defensive tackle group last week. And I think he would be the guy that gets the start. But, it'll be interesting to see how Jim Knowles decides to attack this team. I think he'll be more aggressive than he was last week, and than he's been all season long. And I think you'll see those things. I think you'll see some different fronts. But I'm excited to see how we bounce back. I think the defense knows that this past week wasn't their best performance, even though they still only averaged, Marshall still only averaged less than 4 yards a play. And so, if you're talking about a bad game and the offense is only averaging 3 whatever yards per play, I think you're going to be okay. And so I'm interested to see how they bounce back. I guarantee you this week was tough. Coach Knowles probably let him know how he felt. Obviously, they didn't name a player of the game, which was new for him. And so it'll be interesting to see. I think offensively, I think we'll be able to do, kind of whatever we want. I don't think their defense is bad by any means, but I think our run game and everything is clicking on all cylinders right now. And so I'm excited to see what Chip can dial up in the run game. And I want to see how much we use Will Howard in the run game as well. I think that will be, very telling, especially when we get down in the red zone. I think there's some things that we obviously haven't shown, and I would just wonder if we're going to show it this game.
Yeah, I agree. As far as, how actually before we go into that, we didn't name any champions on the defensive side of the ball either. So Coach Knowles is using those master motivator techniques. You guys think you're the best in the country, and then you give up 14 to Marshall, and I feel like you play bad. No rewards this week. I like it. Obviously, I'm not from the participation trophy era at all.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's cool. But as far as how I think we attack, defensively, I think you're going to see an aggressive defense. Obviously you don't want to be too aggressive because then you're going to run into the same things you ran into last week. Childs is better than Stone Earl.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to have a little better O-line. It's just about figuring out the right way. We haven't really seen true aggression out of the safeties yet. As far as play calls go, you're not seeing a ton of safety blitz stuff yet. You're not seeing we've seen the corners come on a few blitzes, but again, you're not going to show all of that yet. And I think you unleash a little bit more of it. I think under the lights, I think this is a big JTT game. He seems to love the night games for whatever reason. I think he'll use that as motivation. Linebackers, yeah, I'm with you. Now, granted, we haven't got a full Cody Simon sample size yet.
Yeah.
But he's looked good when he's out there. And I'm really starting to feel like Cody Simon, and you've kind of hit on it, is a more athletic version of your boy Pete Warner.
Yeah.
I think that is a great comparison.
Yeah.
So I think, in a base 4-3, I think Arvell needs to be out there.
Yeah.
Sonny has played decent, but I still want to see him flow more. Obviously I'm not watching, the all 22 from start to finish like you. So you've seen some more of that type of stuff. And we'll dive into that real quick here in a minute. As far as what you saw that did make you more confident in the defense after that performance. Offensively, run game. Obviously, yeah, we're going to throw the ball. We have great receivers. We saw it last week. We don't even need to talk about how great they are.
Yeah.
It's a given. So yeah, I think it's an aggressive game for Ohio State. And real quick to cycle back to something from 5 or 10 minutes ago when you talked about the Mountain West in Oregon State.
Yeah.
Late, not breaking news because it's not official yet. The Mountain West is exploring Toledo and Northern Illinois as full-time football-only members.
Really?
Yeah. So
wow.
I can only imagine if Toledo goes, Bowling Green goes.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. That's I was not expecting that.
I got that text a little bit ago from a loyal listener who is a Wyoming fan from Wyoming, lives in Ohio now. So obviously he pays attention to all things Mountain West. And it was a tweet. Let me see if I can still pull it up. It was from Brett McMurphy.
I was not expecting that. Okay.
Mountain West notifies the MAC of its interest in NIU and Toledo as football-only members in 2026. So they have 7 full-time football members, but would still need 2 full-time in addition to Northern Illinois and Toledo. So that's where I think the door is there for, BG. Because you're not going to lose that rivalry if you're Toledo. Even if you play it as non-conference, it loses some of the luster. So, yeah, game changers possibly on the horizon. But like we always do, throw that out there. Quick little rundown going through their roster. Charles Brantley, we talked about him. He's one of their better DBs. He's a redshirt junior. But, you look through here and very Florida-laden roster. Aiden Childs, California. And something that we always talk about is the Ohio kids that are going to play Ohio State with a chip on their shoulder. Montori Foster, redshirt senior from St. Ed's. They've got a Bishop Gorman kid, IMG. They're not slouches by any means. And they recruit Michigan pretty decent. Cass Tech, obviously you can't go wrong there. Our boy Legend Cavazos is in Michigan State.
I forgot about that.
I wish it would have worked for him.
Yeah.
And then obviously to hit it real close to home from the TY Tigers of Mansfield Senior, you got Angelo Gross.
Yeah.
Who always plays Ohio State tough. Pick Central. What I'm not seeing a lot of, through the first little part of this, I know they hit the portal hard, but you don't see a ton of them in the skill position wise.
Yeah.
I forgot Avion Gross is there too from Mansfield Senior. Let's see. Anybody else jump? Another IMG kid. That's a fullback. They got a kid listed as a fullback on their roster. They're going to try to run the football.
The one thing about Michigan State when it comes to recruiting is, and I know Coach Smith is really going to be focused on this because, when I was at Findlay, they were recruiting a couple of our guys. And then, recently one of our linebackers at Olentangy just got offered by Michigan State. And so they really want to get into the state of Ohio, which is, you can get those overlooked kids who, the kids that Ohio State may not, go after, those mid-level 3-star to low 4-star that Ohio State's like tweener, not sure if they want to offer. You can get those kids to come there and play with the chip on their shoulder, just like Mark D'Antonio did. And that's, and that would be, the goal if I was Coach Smith. Obviously you would like to be better than that, but I think he set the standard for what Michigan State football can be. And it did that on the backs of kids from the state of Ohio. And so, I am pretty confident that Coach Smith is really going to hit the recruiting trail in the state of Ohio very, very hard.
Yeah, they actually don't have as many Ohio kids as normal, I don't feel like. Like you said, you look back, look at what they did with Le'Veon Bell.
Yeah.
That alone, the fact that he got up there tells you a lot. And Coach Smith is going to build something there, assuming that he stays. There's going to be a wild coaching carousel, in these next couple. We thought it was going to start honestly this week, but Florida pulled out a win against Mississippi State, and that kept Napier safe for another, probably the rest of the season, honestly.
Yeah.
So currently the spread of the game is 24.
Okay.
So before we dive into a little bit of what you saw defensively, 24 points on the road at night. It all hinges, we've said it a lot on Will Howard.
Yeah.
I'm going to take a cover.
Okay.
I am going to say that, I'm going to go back to my 49. I liked my 49. I think it's a good number.
Yeah.
I'm going to say we go 49-10.
Okay.
With a Jeremiah Smith touchdown.
All right.
And a defensive score.
Yeah. Okay. I'm with you on the defensive score for sure. Yeah. This game I think the score will be similar to what we saw with Marshall. Right now, my heart is saying my guy Austin Snyder is going to make a field goal. And so we're going to go 45-7 is where I'm at score wise. I just think our offense is going to be way too much. I think, we're clicking. You got to pick your poison. I don't think we've fully unlocked what Will Howard can do. And the one thing I love about this version of our Ohio State offense is that we are truly looking for balance. We are looking for balance. We were 290 and 290 last week. I think they're going to be looking for the same. I think Will Howard gets around the 250-ish pass-wise, and I think our run game gets well over 200 yards as well. And so I think we're going to be looking for that balance. And, Quinshawn and Travion are going to be hard to stop. And, with our receivers and our screen game, and who knows what Chip Kelly's got up his sleeve, I think 45-7 will be a good score for us.
Yeah, and what's crazy is we're gonna have to play some TV dominoes because we're gonna have to be flipping back between Peacock and an entirely different app to watch Bama Georgia, which is going to be a banger.
Yeah, it will be a great game.
You'll see it in this week's Pick'em, but I'm just gonna go ahead and tell you, I think Alabama wins.
Oh, I do too. I agree.
I think Alabama is starting to click.
Yeah.
But as far as back to the Buckeyes, you said you've been watching a lot of the film. What are a few things that really stood out to you from last week that's going to move forward and help this week?
Okay, so I can show you better than I can tell you. So I'm going to pull up the film, defensive film. We don't really need to watch the offense because we all know the offense was really
they were
good.
Humming.
Yeah, they were humming. So I got 7 clips that I think really, show the good and the bad of the game, and that the things that we were seeing on live action are so correctable. And it's really just technique stuff. And it also shows you that some of the guys that we've been begging for to be developed are being developed. So let me get this pulled up. Share screen. All right. So let's go to clip number 30. Okay, so you see what I got on the screen, hopefully?
Yeah, yep, you're good.
Okay. So this is a great clip to watch. I really want us to pay attention to Kenyatta Jackson. This is in the second quarter at some point, I believe. But I want to show the physicality that Kenyatta Jackson plays with. And the first drive of the game, JTT, we didn't really see that. And when the second group defensive line came in, you really started to see a little bit of a change. And so I just wanted to highlight some of these things. So Kenyatta, does a really great job of getting off the ball here. All right. He does a really good job of getting off the ball. He does a really great job of trying to get his hands on. This is like textbook stuff, right? As a defensive end, you're taught if this guy down blocks, you're supposed to be able to get your hands on him to prevent him from getting up to a linebacker. And then if this guy comes to kick you out, we're going to try to wrong arm him, right? So wrong arm means I'm going to take him on with this outside arm on his inside arm. Okay. So that's what it means by wrong arm. And when you do that, it allows the play to spill or it collapses down and this guy cannot block you. As you can see with this physicality, he's able to work through the block of that H and then he's able to get in on the tackle. Like now that is really good stuff, right? Why do I point that out? Because this is not what we were seeing from JT to begin the game. And I truly believe that the coaches got into him or he saw that the second group came in and was actually doing what the first group should have been doing. Okay. The other thing I want to point out about this as well, in the first half or the first quarter, I mean, you would see the defensive linemen really working upfield, even if it was a run, right? They were flying upfield. Well, when you fly upfield, you create more space. And as an offense, if I'm calling an offense, I'm trying to create as much space as possible. So if the defense is helping me create that space, well, thank you. You just made my job easier.
Mm-hmm.
I want you to pay attention to Caden Curry here. Caden Curry, before he got ejected, was playing at a very high level. One of the things that he does is he does things by the book. He tries to. And so you can see he gets off the ball and he starts to get upfield. But what's he do now? He sits his butt down so he does not work upfield anymore. And then he works to try to press this tackle back in. All right. We want to, you can go take this all the way back to youth football, getting to heel depth, right? And so he's working to get to heel depth. And now I got to squeeze that back in. Okay. That's not a bad job. Now, Caden's just a smaller guy, so this guy's able to knock him off his course. But from our defensive line, if we can get this, we got a guy eating up a double team so Cody Simon doesn't get blocked. We got Hero Canoe down here standing up his guy, getting that extension, be able to rip off and get inside and make the tackle. Like that is good defense, right? This is another angle of it that wasn't all doom and gloom like we say, right? Like we thought. This is good defense, sound football, what Jim Knowles and James Laurinaitis are teaching the guys, all right? Okay, now we'll go to clip 32, okay? Now, one of the things that Marshall did a great job of, is really keeping the Ohio State defense off balance, all right? And when they did that, they were doing things that Ohio State had not seen. Most of the time when you see teams run a zone read, they're typically reading the defensive ends, right? One of these two guys.
Yep.
What they did, right? They noticed how aggressive our defensive line wants to play and how much they work to get vertical penetration. What they did was, we're going to read the defensive tackle. All right. So watch this play. They let the defensive tackle go. Okay. Stone Earl is staring at this 3 technique. All right. If he bites down on the dive like he does, okay, he's keeping it. Now, this is one thing I want to get clear. And I know our Zach Smith was on Twitter losing his mind about it. He is not being asked to 2-gap here. Okay. He's not being asked to play 2 gaps. What people need to understand is that these 2 guys out here are freak athletes, and they are going to be asked, if it's run, to fold back into the box. Okay. They're going to be asked to fold back into the box. So they have to be really sound in their run reads. As you can see, Sonny doesn't do that at all, right? He goes straight out to the screen. Okay. He goes straight out to the screen. And what now? What happens now? All right. Because the tackle went flying upfield. All right. He's actually doing his job here. He's supposed to be fitting with the flow right where he goes. Sonny needs to be working back inside, right? Sonny's not working back inside. Had Sonny worked back inside, he'd probably be sitting right here. This play gets stopped for a 3, maybe a 4-yard gain. But because, he worked outside for whatever reason, we didn't get that. Okay. So when we say bad defense, it's just technique things, right? This is just not fundamentally sound by Sonny. All right. Now, they could have told him to play before, like, hey, they're going to throw a screen. So Sonny's thinking, I got to go make a play on it.
Yeah.
All right. I'm not 100% sure. I'm not there on Saturdays, but I know what we teach our guys. All right. And his job, if he reads run, which this is telling me that it's run, he needs to be folding back into the box. And now Stone Earl's not able to get this big of a gain. All right. So just a simple mistake. Okay. Now let's go to the next clip. All right. We talk about the defensive line quite a bit, but I want to point out the DBs, right? Having this dude right here allows us to be very aggressive with Denzel Burke, with Jordan Hancock, and with IGB. Why do we want to be aggressive with them? Because these guys are really good in man coverage. Okay. So because we have Caleb Downs, we have a true free safety. So he's able to play in the middle of the field. Now, this is cover one, right? So we're going to be manned up here. We're going to be manned up here. These two are going to be manned up on these two. All right. And he is going to be free over top. Watch this play by Lathan Ransom. Just an explosive play. Why do I want to highlight this? Is because Lathan Ransom is playing really good football right now. And this guy looks so explosive. You could tell he's healthy for the first time in years. And it's just really, really good to see, right? This is a great one-on-one play.
Was a great open field tackle.
Great open field tackle. Now, why would Jim Knowles want to do this? Because BIA. He truly believes BIA is living and breathing in Columbus, Ohio right now. And this is a great example why. It's pretty good coverage all around. That's a great rep, okay? So when we think the defense didn't play that great, there are some really good clips that still happen. All right, what's the next clip? Clip 36. I got a couple more, then I'll shut up because I could do this literally all night.
You got more film to watch tonight. So
yeah, dude, I do. All right. So what do we got here? Clip 36. Okay. Now, this is great, right? Why do I want to show this? Because this is very similar to what we saw on a previous play where they really only have one linebacker in the box. But Cody Simon, if he reads run, he's got to fold back inside and fit this B gap. Now, what do you notice about the defensive line here? Do you see guys flying upfield?
They all look pretty, yeah.
Yeah, they all look like they've gotten to heel depth and they're working to get extension. When we decided to start doing this, Marshall was not able to have success in the run game. Look at Jack Sawyer. This is textbook. He's squeezing this guy back down, right? Squeezing. You know, JTT up top, squeezing back down inside. We got a guy taking on a double team here. We've won this rep. Our defensive tackle is working to get extension. Cody Simon is folded back into the box, right? And Sonny is free to make a play.
That's letting your athletes athlete.
Yes. And when you do the little things right, this is the result when you have athletes like we have, right? If we go flying upfield, right, and Cody doesn't read, run, or pass, then he steps out and we go flying upfield, we create a seam, and then it looks like, oh, we're putting all this pressure on Sonny Styles to be a two-gap player. That is not the case. All right, fold back inside. Again, another good defensive rep. And this is what it was supposed to look like. This is such a good view of it right here. Defensive line working hard. Look at that. Look at that long arm. I mean, Jack Sawyer's won this rep. If you look at this, these three guys have all won the rep, and this guy's doing a good job Taiwan's doing a really good job of taking on this double team, and he's really trying to hold on to this guy for a little bit longer. Sonny bench presses him. This is the type of defense I want to see us play. All right, let's see. What's the next?
Taiwan Malone played so good in that game.
He did. All right, clip 38. Right on cue, okay? This is 4th and 1. Now, earlier in the game, we said that they weren't reading our defensive ends in their zone read. They were reading our defensive tackle. If our defensive tackle goes flying upfield, all right, and goes after the running back, Stone Earl gets to keep it. Watch our guy Taiwan right here. Okay, watch what he does. He becomes patient. Where's this guy going? He's got nowhere to go. Everybody says, well, he slipped. We don't know if he would have got it. Listen, there's 3 guys right there. I don't think he would have got it. Okay, but Taiwan did his job. He didn't go flying upfield. He realized I'm being read, and I'm going to sit down, right? That's pretty freaking good. We have to understand the linebackers have to respect this outside flow. They've got to respect it. They have to respect it. So they are going to be working this way. These guys on the backside have to do their job. And these 3 guys did it. And I love to see it. I mean, that's really good. All right.
Yeah, I don't think he gets it, if he doesn't fall. I mean, like you said, Taiwan was right there, and all he has to do is wrap. And the way Ohio State flows to the ball on defense, he's not getting there.
Yeah.
And that's one of the things, you go back to the Michigan USC game. USC does not flow to the football as a team. Our adage, like I said, my coaching experience stopped in 6th grade, but our adage was 11 hats to the ball.
Absolutely.
And if USC flows to the ball, they probably win that game because the guy doesn't break a 70-yard run.
Absolutely. Agree 100%. Now, this is going to be, make sure this is the right clip. Okay, I got 2 more clips and then I'm done. All right, so this is later on in the game. Our guy Arvell's in. I really want us to pay attention to the defensive ends. Again, we said, if you go flying upfield, you create more space. What do we see Jack Sawyer do right here? Instantly upfield.
Yeah.
Flying upfield. Didn't work to bench press, didn't work to press him down or anything.
That was just a bull rush.
Yep. Goes flying upfield, right? Well, what's that do? Look at the gap it creates. Okay. It creates more space. All right. I believe this is CJ now that's in the game. All right. Could be Sonny. I can't tell. No, it's Sonny. All right. Now, Sonny does a good job, but we get really good help from our corner. Okay. One of the things that you saw us do, we played a ton of cover 2. All right. If we're playing cover 2, that means this guy, the corner, and this corner are sitting down in the flats. Okay. So the flats are right here. And then you're going to have these 2 over top. Okay. When you play cover 2, the corners are involved in the run game. And so Denzel did a really good job right here. Now, if you look at the down and distance, I believe it's 3rd and short, 2nd and short. If Jack doesn't go flying upfield and he does what he did a few reps ago and presses this back down, Sonny's in a better spot now to go make that play. Okay. So again, not a big deal, but because of our lack of small little technique issues or technique or fundamentals, we didn't make that play. Now,
Do you think that boils down to aggression?
I think so. And I think they don't want to take that away from the guys because that is who Jack Sawyer is, right?
Yeah.
That is who JT is. JT is going to go make plays. And so I don't think they want to take that away from them, but I think they can be, cautiously aggressive with understanding the situation in the game. If you can understand the situation in the game, when you can go bull rush, when you can sit your butt down and go get the heels depth, long arm, and play heavy in the run game. And so, I think it's just a mentality thing, and I'm sure they don't want to take it away. Now, this is the last clip. Why do I want to show this? Because I've been hard on my guy, JT. Okay. I've been hard on my guy, JT. We showed a good clip to begin of Kenyatta Jackson really working hard to get hands on a key, that tackle blocking down, and this H coming to kick him out. Well, I want to show you JT doing the same exact thing. JT does, and this is textbook. Notice, does he go upfield at all? Nope. Doesn't go upfield at all. And watch the way he says, screw this, I'm going to go be a dude. Right? This guy knew I'm not even going to be able to block him. Okay? He goes the wrong arm. That guy completely says, I'm not even going to touch you. I'm going to go block a free safety, which is mind blowing to me. And because JT did the right thing, instead of flying upfield, what happens? Tackle for loss. There's the JT we know. All right. So I say all that to say this. Our defense, we're fine. Okay. We are more than fine. This is a phenomenal defense. We are going to do some really great things. We just got to make sure we lock in on all the little details, and this defense will still be one of the best in the country.
Yeah, I think you're right. It's cool to see it that way because, like you said, Zach Smith, the dude is so football intelligent.
Yeah.
He was going bananas on Saturday. There was somebody else. I cannot think of who it was. Kind of in the same light, they were not happy, and I'm like, you only see so much on the TV film, and that's the cool thing about you being able to look at the film.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think we build off of it. I'm not worried about the offense again this week. Next week, maybe a little bit. We'll see there. But next week, I don't have to worry about the defense. So
yeah.
Like I said, I think the Buckeyes win. I think we continue to build. I think you'll see Chip Kelly throw some new wrinkles out. And yeah, go Bucks. That's about all I got.
Yeah, that's all I got, man.
All right. Well, thank you guys as always for the support. We'll get this posted for you guys in the morning. So by the time you're hearing it, you'll be doing your Friday morning routine.
Yep.
Shout out to our sponsors, as always, the Barn Baseball and Softball Academy, Cornerstone Home Remodeling. And you guys be safe this weekend. Enjoy the weekend. And we will see you guys next week for episode 36.